Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Charlie, I am the motorcycle rescuer and this is Motorcycle Rescuer. So yes, welcome back. Apologies about yesterday's video, it's a bit bland. I actually did a lot of filming yesterday on John's Triumph Bonneville T120. We just kept hitting snags. We kept hitting issues with it, so we need to order a couple more spacers for it, and then we'll have one long video, probably an hour long for that one, eventually. I spoke to Sultan last night. He technically did the right thing by his bike. He had a couple of drinks. Apparently someone tampered with his bike. There's no sign of that. I think he was paranoid. But he's pushed it to me instead of riding it, thinking that that was a legal way of doing it. He also had his helmet. Now, we could challenge whether he would have ridden it if the bike had started. But I don't know how he then knew that it wouldn't start. So it's a bit iffy, but ultimately he didn't ride the bike to me. He had alcohol in his system, and then the bike wouldn't start when he tried it, or when I tried it even. So it's all a bit confused. My main thing is that he didn't ride it to me with alcohol in his system. I don't care how much or how little alcohol's in his system. He's not the best rider anyway, so he doesn't need anything in his system. So the bike's here with me. I'm going to chuck some fuel in right now, and we'll fire it up, and hopefully it fires up, it runs at idles, and he can get rid of it today. That's the aim. I'm sick of bikes kicking about at the garage not doing anything, if I'm being honest. So let's top this bad boy up. Now, running out of fuel isn't the end of the world, guys. But what you risk is taking any lost crap in the engine through to your carbs. Then you've got to deal with a carb clean. So the ideal is not to run out of fuel. Let's hope this pump pumps it all back through the carb. Let's hope the carb's clear, and let's hope it fires up. Now have a listen. This is how I knew it was dry yesterday. The pump sounds weird and it pumps for a long time. So I'm going to prime it a couple of times and we'll have a listen. So now we know there's fuel up. So remember, it's got the choke on, but remember, it probably sucked up a bit of crap, so we need to let it run and clear out for a couple of minutes. It sounds better already. It's probably cleared itself through, and then he's back on track, which is good, so he can get this thing out of here. So that's great, guys. That's running as bad as it was running before, which is good. I'm going to go and get some fuel for the lexmoto. Or shall I take it for a quick spin down there and top it up? Wouldn't hurt, would it? Get it warmed up. But either way, I think someone's coming to fuel this later. Now, the reason I say I think is because I've got two lexmotos upstairs or repairs and a running bike. And when people message me, I don't confirm it stupidly. So let's get some fuel in this. I need to put the side panel on because I charged the battery not long ago. It starts first time every time, so that's all good. But of course it needs to have some fuel in it. So, get some fuel in there so that they can have a good test run on it and it's all good and charged up. And there you go. I'm stuck with the car at the moment. That can go for scrap, or I may look at getting it done bit by bit slowly, because it is worth saving. It's a good car. And the older lexmoto over there needs to go. That's up for 400, but people have been offering me their firstborns and their PlayStation 1.5s. To be fair, guys, I know I can kick that first start and it's running up. My slight suspicion is that the second carb I bought is somehow dud, actually. Because that will start and run and ride for 30 seconds and then it disappears, and then it stops running. So there's something simple there that I've missed. It's just that I've had enough with it. Great. So, guys, I've got someone coming to fuel, I think, the adrenaline. That's great. That's fueled up. That's good. That's ready to go. Now, I've got out this Arrow. Now, Arrow? ZSF. It's a 2017 bike, so I've got time with it. But me and John did this bike. Sultan didn't do anywhere near enough. In fact, the work Sultan did with this bike wouldn't even have made it worth as much as he paid for it, which was 400. So me and John have basically taken it over. What we'll do is when we sell it, we'll give Sultan the 400 back. But ultimately, this is now our project bike. Now, this was our fault. Now, it actually has a great engine. It always starts. I bet it doesn't now, though. But it always starts. Everything works. We've done all the brakes. So our thoughts are we'll buy a Chinese tank, a nice silver one or something online, a black one maybe. And we'll create a bit more of a calf racer style bike. Just a bit more of a calf racer, you know. We're not going to go nuts. You can get the tank for 80 quid with all of its bits. So I think that's the kind of direction we're going to look in, just make it a bit more prettier. That tank's rubbish. If I could get this tank for it, with the side panels at a reasonable price in this blue, I'll do that. I'll do that. But for 80 quid, you can get a bit more of a slimline. And then we might even go for a flat tracker style seat to make it kind of a scrambler looking bike. I don't know what the design under here is. Yeah, it's flat enough. If we lower the shocks a little, what we might need to do is lower the rear a little. That'll be fine. Yeah. So we've got, you know, we've got plans for this bike. So I'm not hugely frustrated about it still being here. It's just you need the funds to do this stuff, guys. The Harley needs a new battery. That's 80 quid. My car needs some work. Actually, it's out of MOT and it's not charging its battery, so that's going to be a few hundred quid. So I'm at that stage at the moment where I'm a bit screwed in regards to other bits and pieces, but we are going to get this done one way or another. Let's fire it up. Let's see if you know, after a while it fires up. I'll probably use the kick. The battery will definitely be dead. Who would have guessed? Right, choke. Oh, are we spilling fuel? We are spilling fuel. We've got a fuel leak. So this bike always took a little while to warm up, which it's doing now, but it's got a bit of a fuel leak as well, which won't help. That solves it. It needs a new fuel tank. That's fine. I think that's the best thing to do. This tank was never going to work on this bike. If we get a nice black one, we could probably just paint the rest of the panels black. But I do like the idea of a flatter rear seat, or even a calf style seat. Oh, now it's really warming up, you can hear it. Okay, cool, that took a long time, but it is done.